Pulp Fiction.
And I think that's your favorite. Is that your favorite?
That is, it's kind of tied.
Okay.
But I do consider it his best.
Okay.
If we're talking straight screenplay.
Yeah.
If we're talking straight screenplay, this is the... I'm not going to even complain about a lot of things with the screenplay. It's perfect. I watched the movie. I even made notes about this film. I found 5 things I nitpicked and didn't like. And there was holes? Yeah, but then there was something that actually I found I didn't mind. Yeah. The bullet holes, but then I noticed in this one shot, this is probably just me overanalyzing, but I don't care because I'm looking past the bullet holes. There's a candlelight with fake fire. There's one is burning and one is not attached to it. I look at that as the sense of belief between Jules and Vincent.
Okay.
So I don't care about the bullet holes continuity thing. Whenever somebody brings that up to me, I just say, I don't care. Because I believe. Holy power.
Just laugh about it. Yeah.
And, but no, when I watched Pulp Fiction again, I said to myself, this movie is great. And, what do you think about Pulp Fiction? I know it's not your favorite, but...
Well, I really enjoy it. It's just, I'm the opposite of most people. I enjoyed the John Travolta part, but I enjoy every other part more. So I like the Bruce Willis part more, and honestly, Harvey Keitel is my favorite character. Just his brief little part where he's smooth and sophisticated.
That's 30 minutes away. I'll be there in 10. 9 minutes and 37 seconds.
Yeah, I just love it. So I know that it was John Travolta's kind of breakout of his slump, which he's done a few times now, but I enjoyed the other parts. I like how they had the one... the samurai sword. I forget the name of the...
Hattori Hanzo?
Thank you. The Hattori Hanzo. They did have the symbol in there. That was a nice prelude to Kill Bill.
Yeah. And I'm not one to really care too much about his extended universe, as long as the films themselves work.
Yeah.
Because that's, again, True Romance, there's a kind of connection with the first one. I didn't care about it. But I do think that sometimes it works as long as the film is great.
Yeah. I thought that the whole... sex dungeon thing was really creepy and freaky. It's a tough watch to get through, but second or third time that I watched through it, I went, yeah, no matter how freakish this is, it's a great scene. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. And this is actually a fun little fact. This is one of those movies where my mom, I asked her, when can I see Pulp Fiction? She says, you can't see it until you're this age, and you can only see it with your dad. There have only been there's a few times where I've not listened to that rule, but there are a few times where I have, and I'm glad I did that. Like, The Breakfast Club, I didn't watch that until I watched it with my mom. Psycho, I watched the first, 5 minutes of that, and she was so mad at me. And Pulp Fiction, I didn't watch this at all. And I'm very glad I did, because when I first saw Pulp Fiction, I was a little bit confused with the whole non-linear structure.
If you don't know what's going on, you just get lost.
And it's also, there's a lot of heavy content. You said with the rape torture scene.
Yeah.
And also just the drug use in it. It's not it's not the most intense drug use I've seen in a movie, but it is very much a plot point, and it's very much focused on. That's another thing that I love about this screenplay. Details. There's a reason why Vincent is a heroin junkie. Yeah. And there's a reason why Mia is a coke addict. So without that, there's no tension for them, and there's I just imagine Tarantino thinking to himself, how do I get this character in trouble? Yeah. Oh, right. Let's make her snort heroin, and not only just heroin, but the madman. Let's get her snort some of that, and then there's just such little things, like when they take him to the junkie's house to get her. To stop her from ODing. There's a game of operation and a game of life stacked on top of each other. I love that. And when Vincent's terrified, he's wearing a Speed Racer shirt under his stoner rags, and he gets up and he's like, I can hear the phone. I can hear it. Yeah. No, there's so much to this. It's one of those films where there's so much you can almost not even talk about it. I can't really say. I can only say
we'll have to do this again. And we'll just
as
have
an actual
to focus.
Review.
We'll actually have to focus on Pulp Fiction if we're able to cover everything.
Absolutely. And I think Samuel L. Jackson gives an amazing performance in this. I think this is one of his best.
I think that his best acting in general is when he's Tarantino.
Yeah, Uma Thurman, I'm still convinced is the sexiest female character I've ever seen in a movie. I'm not even joking. When she talks in the microphone, that scene, I'm just like, my God. Like, this woman is scary sexual, and I'm just a little bit. It's a little.
It's a little bit. Like it's haunting and intimidating at the same time.
Yeah, you're just like, I don't know what to do. Like it's like kind of Vincent. It's like I don't know what to do right now. Just do I leave? Do I stay? I don't know. Plan out the rest of my day in the bathroom. You're all right out there, right? You're not looking in my pockets. But no, it's a great ensemble piece of acting. One thing we didn't talk about with Reservoir Dogs too much was the acting. And while it was, I did think stiff at times, still great actors.
Oh, definitely.
Tim Roth in this movie, and what's her name? Oh man, I know her name. Why am I forgetting it? She plays Honey Bunny. I want to just look at it, but I won't. But I'll put a little thing of her name actually in it. But she was just so fantastic in this movie. Like their dynamic was great. I love the whole monologue again. The monologue is like, why didn't we rob a coffee shop?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
The acting is so great, and it's a lot smoother than Reservoir Dogs. I think that he actually had a little more of his directing style. Just the whole, when he's getting his wallet back, the whole intimidation scene there. Again, when they're getting washed down after they blow the one guy's brains out.
Well, you gotta have an opinion. I think you think God just came down from heaven and stopped. Boom, and I'm just shit. And that's actually the most violent scene that is in that movie. Yeah, it's
not a lot of violence.
Tarantino doesn't have a lot of violence in his films, and like there's high body counts, and I mean orange bleeding, the cut off of the ear,
I think Kill Bill makes up for most of it.
Well, yeah, but everybody says, it's overly violent. It's like, there's not a lot of people that die, and the only person that dies graphically is Marvin.
Yeah.
Only person. And I love and again, when they're cleaning the back of the car, it's like, Vincent's in the front, and he's just like, kind of saying, calm down, Jules, okay? Right now, I'm a race car, and I'm in the red. Okay, and I'm just saying, it's dangerous when you got a race car in the red. I'm ready to blow. Oh, you ready to blow? Yeah. Well, I'm a mushroom cloud laying mother. And I'm just, it's like, and then he's like, and why am I in the back of the car? You're the guy that should be on brain detail. And I'm just like, it's just these little funny moments.
And then what I love about it is, in Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, they treat death so casually.
Yes.
It's so casual when they're talking about how to torture the people for the bank in Reservoir Dogs. It's like, if he doesn't give you the answer he's trying to be here, take his pinky off. Yeah. And he treats it just like, oh yeah, and I just made a breakfast sandwich. Yeah.
I'm hungry. Let's go get a taco. I forgot about that scene.
That's a fantastic one. And that's just an opening up into the world of complete desensitization. He knows how to talk about the criminal element for sure.
And I like how he doesn't, like when he writes characters, they're used to this kind of world, so they're not like all like, oh my god. So they don't spend time on reacting. They spend time on then acting afterwards.
Which, if they're not familiar with the world, it would make sense to spend time on. It's just when there are these shows and these people have been doing this for how many years, and then suddenly they develop a conscience. I'm like, please can we skip these 15 minutes of this person talking to themselves in the mirror? Please.
Yeah. There's one really big thing that I want to mention, or two things actually. And that's one other thing that I didn't mention with Reservoir Dogs is that Tarantino did something really great with the crime genre. Yeah. He made them people, really. He made criminals people. And we didn't really see that. We saw it to an extent, I guess, like in The Godfather. We saw them, but they were all business-type people, and they were talking about the business.
And the last time that it's really been seen was The Mobster, which was Humphrey Bogart and stuff like that. But that's completely different type of criminal.
And it's never... But he made them talk about regular stuff. But the problem, I think, also with that in Reservoir Dogs is... It's pulp culture references. It's stuff to be real people. So it's conversations that we have. But also, again, then conversations are kind of boring. They never really lead to something. In this movie, Pulp Fiction, they talk about things, and they always have something to do with what's going on. Yeah. And it's like subtext. It's like, what is the meaning of this conversation? Not just what are they talking about. It's what is the reason behind it. And they never tell us. No. Like... When they're going towards to get the briefcase from what's his name, Brett. When they're going to his apartment and they walk, they're talking about Mia Wallace. They're talking about how she was in a pilot. They talk about all of that, And then Jules mentions that Antoine messed up, Marcellus messed up a guy named Antoine because he was touching, giving Mia Wallace a foot rub, which is another funny scene. But the whole point of that conversation is it just seems like they're talking about massages feet and this. What they're really saying is, Vincent, you got to watch out for when you're taking care of his wife. Yeah. Because if you screw this up, you are going to die. You're in big trouble. And and then it's like more on edge for when he meets Mia. Yeah. And then there's all
and then when she's ODing, that's exactly.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
You're like,
you're scared for the guy.
Yeah, and I think if you like John Travolta or not, he did have some pretty good charisma.
Oh, at least he sure did
in this. So
he was great.
I like him in this.
Just, I like Bruce Willis more.
No, yeah, and you know what? That's the one last thing I really want to talk about. Bruce Willis. One thing that I will say I did have an issue with was when he's driving in the taxi cab. The background's kind of one of those like old noir kind of thing. Yeah. That's just I don't know. There's probably a reason, but I don't like that. But anyway, the whole taxi scene, I get it. Yeah. It's one of those things that just but it doesn't make me dislike the film. No. It works for the film. Yeah. What I love though is the gold watch scene, and I think this is something that not enough people kind of see. And this is just where I'm going to be analyzing. Okay. Where the gold watch scene, it was an army relic. Like it's basically passed down to soldiers in that family bloodline to go to war. And Butch is given to him from a man who was in the Vietnam prison camp with his father. He died of dysentery. Give him the watch, and then he gives the watch to him in a very noble fashion, in a very straight way, in like he's being honest with him. Yeah. And then Butch wakes up and he's a boxer. Now tell me this: Butch is making a deal to throw the match with an underground criminal, warlord or kind of thing. Mm-hmm. He then cons the man and beats the other boxer to death. He's planned to take more money to go off. And then he finds out he doesn't have the watch from his girlfriend. She's also very good in this movie. And then he verbally attacks her, throws stuff, scares her, then goes to his apartment, kills Vincent. Yeah. Then he starts driving away. He hits Marcellus with a car when he's going for donuts. And then he runs off, and he's about to shoot him in a pawn shop. What has he done to deserve the watch?
That's the whole thing. He hasn't.
He hasn't done a single thing until Marcellus is being attacked. And he has that choice where he could leave.
Or he could actually, And this is what makes the scene quite brilliant. Because we were actually talking about this just earlier. The difference between heroes and villains. Yeah. And he hasn't been a hero yet. So he gets that drive where, who knows, maybe it's his ancestors coming back. You don't really get insight to his mind. You just know that he gets the drive to do something good finally. Mm-hmm. And he is rewarded. He finally earns his watch, and he earns his life.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a great theme in this entire film. Like, it's all the idea of people finding those chances to find decency in an indecent life. These are bad people. They are. And Vincent is the one person, again, who says, "I'm just going to keep living this life," and he's content punished.
With the life he is.
And everyone else is at least saved or spared to try and clean themselves up in life, I think. And Marcellus, at the same time, I think he comes out a different man after the experience. And my brother hates that scene, and my mom, it's for reasons she won't see it again.
It's a tough scene, well.
But I think there's a reason for it.